I'm one of those annoying people who never deletes any photos on their iPhones. So whenever I'm scrolling through my old photos, I'll get these sections after sections of photos that has the same color theme. And the other day, I stopped at this particular blue and white section, and I realized it's one of my favorite places in New Mexico that I never get the chance to talk about, White Sands Desert. Before you start thinking this is just a desert with sands being white, okay Karen, here are some fun activities you could do while at White Sands. Making a sand angel. Doing sope. Singing with your friends. Shooting H&M magazine covers. And of course, the classic sand sliding by not bringing your own slider, instead borrowing someone else's and regretting not asking the number of the guy you borrowed the slider from because you thought he was kinda cute.
Hey! Oh my god! Woohoo!
And then you realize you made this whole thing up in your mind and you don't actually remember what this guy looked like and you're just lonely. What? I'm not talking about myself, obviously, duh. According to the official website of White Sands, it's $25 per vehicle to get inside for 7 consecutive days. Come on, that's a legit steal. We took the full advantage of it by entering 2 days in a row. And the reason for that is because on the first day of our arrival, it was kind of cloudy and had smidgen of rain coming down. We still spent quite some hours in the White Sands, but like everybody else who came to White Sands, we are chasing after that blue sky, White Sands aesthetic. We get to have that aesthetic the second day. However, I would say cloudy day White Sands are still a must go. Just imagine you have these layers of clouds that is above you, and then you have these layers of never-ending sand dunes that is beneath you. At one point, you just can't tell where the desert ends and where the sky starts, and everything just fuses together into this grand landscape. Majestic is the only word that I can think of to describe the cloudy day White Sands. So yeah, don't be discouraged if you arrived on a cloudy day. Go explore and enjoy this very different vibe from the, sunny, clear, blue sky White Sand. We flew from San Diego and then landed at El Paso. We rented a car from El Paso to drive all the way to Las Cruces, which is the nearest town outside of White Sands. It's about an hour of a drive from Las Cruces to White Sands. So speaking of the car we rented, wait, what's this sound? Where did this coming from? This just in, we have a car expert, Caroline, here with us today at the studio to talk about cars. Oh, okay. Thank you. Anyway, we rented this Jeep. I don't know the model of it and I don't know the technical terms for its build. I just know it's a big red Jeep. What really stood out to me was how low-tech this car was. It had one of those old-timey stereo system which didn't even support Bluetooth connection. Come on, what the... Folks, you heard it right. It was not a sound effect. It was indeed a noise coming from my mouth. We had to buy an aux cord so we can enjoy music in the car for the rest of our trip. I mean, again, I don't know nothing about this car. Maybe it's an older model, although I don't think it is. Driving this car was fun though. I like driving big cars. Oh, there's this one thing. If you see another person who's also driving a Jeep, you're supposed to honk at them as in say hi, which I found pretty fascinating because I've never had this treatment when I was driving my shitty Corolla Toyota, I've only been honked at for being a bad driver because, you know, I'm a amateur driver. What do you think I was gonna say? You racist motherfucker. Speaking of my shitty Toyota, I was being extra nostalgic towards driving. I haven't touched a steering wheel for so long. I don't have a driver's license here in China, and I'm just too scared to drive in China anyway. I used to drive my shitty Corolla everywhere and doing this long hours of road trips to so many places in the Midwest, and it's just so much fun. I don't know when's gonna be the next time for me to drive, but we'll see. I went to Iceland Christmas time 2017. I didn't even own the camera back then, so everything was shot on my iPhone. That's also why you don't get to see those fancy B-rolls that you normally see in my travel videos, but a lot of still photos and I know vertical videos. But White Sands is truly one of my favorite places, definitely in New Mexico if it's not in the US. So I just want to share this with you, and hopefully if you ever thought about visiting or if you didn't know about this place, then this is the video for you. If you're interested in this, I can make this into a series where I can talk about one place at a time. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing more of these. Ow! Ow! Wow. At one point, you just can't tell where the tether ends. Tether. Well, this part of the video doesn't have much to do with White Sands, but I want to talk about my, general creative journey, how I got into video creations, how I got on YouTube, and some creators on YouTube that deeply inspired me. I will put on some footage that I shot during the trip in New Mexico, just so we can have some consistency in this video. As I mentioned before, I didn't even own a camera when I went on this trip, so I shot everything on my iPhone. At that time, I didn't even know what to shoot, so I just film whenever I feel like it. Now that I look back on them, these videos that I shot, yes, they're pretty, they're nature, they're mountains, they're sunsets, of course they're pretty, but it doesn't really carry any value to it, as in it doesn't tell a story, it doesn't have a connection between one another. This trip is, I would say, the initial starting point of my video creation journey, and I want to have the skill sets to film and edit beautiful things. That's why I bought a camera not too long after this trip. I would use this camera to create visual stories. I am a very visual person. I understand the power of words, of course, but I really believe that telling a story through visuals is the ultimate tool to share your opinions, to get your point across, and to make an impact. That's what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel. I want to use my visuals, my videos, to tell stories, to share my thoughts, to share my experience with you all. What I'm trying to focus on right now is to improve my storytelling skills. I mean, I still have a huge room for improvements, but I am working on it. Ultimately, I really hope one day the story that I tell through my video creations can be inspiring to someone else, even if it's just another one person. So speaking of inspirations, I want to point out a few creators that I really like. Okay, I'm going to throw out some big names, of course. Peter McKinnon, Daniel Scheffer, and then Jesse Driftwood, and I can't believe I'm blanking on female creators. Sarah Daichi, yeah, I'm butchering her last name. Andre Ember, and who else? This goes to show how much we need female creators in this industry. So another creator I want to talk about is Jake Free. Well, he's a guy. He's a videography, living a van life, and shooting videos in his van and editing all of these videos in his van. Come on, this is like my life goal. Just so you know, I have, quote, I want to live a van life, unquote, as my Tinder bio. So go figure. All of them are very talented, I drew a lot of inspiration from them, and I hope that they can keep whatever they are doing so I can keep on doing my thing. And hopefully one day I get to collab with any one of them. I would love to do that.